Hello everybody, my name is Scatter. Welcome back to Divine Journey 2. So today we are going to start off by making this handy bag, which I'm kind of excited about because I've heard a lot of things about it. Not really sure what its deal is, but we're going to find out. So to start off, we need to make some vanilla ender chests, which seem insanely easy to make now. It's just compressed obsidian and an ender eye, which on its own, you know, it's like, it's easy. Like, it's not insanely so, but it still is definitely easy. So you need 2 of these per ender chest from ender storage, which is just better overall because, you know, with the vanilla ender chests, you get 1 of them, right? And you can, you know how they work. But with the modded ones, oh, well, that sucks. Let's get this silk touch pickaxe, and this is going to take forever, and that's definitely not worth it. You know what? It's fine. If I had known it worked like that, wouldn't have put him down. Wouldn't have put him down, especially considering I just lost 56 obsidian, I believe. But you know what? It's obsidian. It comes and goes. So yeah, those are those. But then the ender chests from ender storage, and you can make these with a dimensional transceiver, which on its own might be a pretty useful thing. I don't know if there's a quest for it, but yeah, there is. So that lets you move items between dimensions. So probably won't actually be using that anytime soon. Maybe soonish. I don't know. It's hard to say. But we definitely do have the handy bag here. So this is the ender chest. And this one, you can dye the top. You can dye the top. You see this one says red, green, blue. This one says white, white, white. The ender chests only work between chests that have the same 3 colors, right? So how many colors are there? 16. So that's like 16 to the 3 separate like networks of ender chests that you can have all linked up together. And there are ender tanks as well, which is a handy way to, you know, get lava from the nether or whatever such thing you may want to do with it. So it's really cool. But what we're going to be doing is turning them into ender pouches, which are just kind of the same thing except they work in the inventory, and just make it right out of that. And they still don't stack, of course, but there we go. We get half a stack of blaze powder, which is fine. But then a handy bag. So store items based on its card size in each of its 27 slots. It replaces the normal inventory GUI with additional rows of slots, which is definitely interesting. And it seems either really convenient or really insanely annoying. I assume it's going to be convenient. It's not a bauble, which is interesting. So is it just like, oh, is it just as long as it's anywhere in your inventory then? This works. It doesn't have any memory cards in it right now. But we do have this 12-bit one, which was an insane amount of stuff to craft back when I did it. Right now, I mean, it's still a lot of advanced ender alloys, but those aren't quite as hard to come by as they were before. And these memory cards definitely aren't. So I guess maybe not as big of a deal as it was at the time, but I'm definitely still happy to put some use to it. And then this large chest as well does use these memory cards. I'm not going to use this one, but, you know, I put it down in there just because it does have a quest associated with it. But let's go ahead and stick a memory card in here. So 12 bits, I believe that means we can stack up to 4,096 items in each slot here. And I don't know if there's a Danknull type of, functionality where it will automatically have things go into this inventory when I pick them up. Bag enabled, restock mode disabled, pickup mode disabled. I guess that's what I'm talking about. Matching. So I assume this will only pick up things and put them directly in there if there's already something in there. Well, okay, I guess it throws from it as well. So if I do that. No, maybe not. Wow, oh, the Danknull takes priority. Okay, that makes enough sense. Well, how about if I take something that's not in the Danknull, like coal ore? So if I have this, if I do pickup mode all, they will go straight in there. And then if I do some more, 128, there you go. So I could do a bunch of stacks there. 64 stacks, I believe. 64 squared is 4096, but yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll just put pickup mode on all right now just because, you know, you might as well just treat it as an extension of the inventory. I don't know if that's going to be the way that I want to do it from now on. But again, Shift E, they said opens the normal inventory, which is good to know. And I do kind of wish this was a bauble, but you can't always get what you want. There are upgrades to this. Not like directly upgradable like that, but handy bag large. And you can just make it. This is a much later thing. You know, magical leather, that's Thaumcraft stuff. The infused magical core combination crafting, this comes way later. Enhanced entering it. So really, I mean, maybe not way later at this point, but Thaumcraft we definitely need to get into first. I guess the annoying thing about this is it's not accessible when we're like in other inventories. So if I did want to put something in there, I'd have to open this up, take it out, but then move all items. There's these buttons here. I think it's a pretty neat thing, and I think we're going to get a lot of good use out of it. But in any case, let's go ahead and move on with today's docket. So first of all, this nature seed plant is at 71%. Now, I don't know. That's the first time I've checked it. And I don't know if it has given us anything so far. We do have 11 nature essence, so it has been giving us some yield, but obviously it hasn't been giving us the seeds like the quest said, right? So it doesn't reproduce itself, which is just okay. But it does give us the nature essence, so that's pretty cool. And over some more time, you know, it's only been like 20 minutes since I stopped recording the last one, so this is going to build up for sure. Let me stick a quantity key on all these. Yeah, okay. And then I've been growing some wheat as well. Seeds are at 19. I guess there's another slot in the drawer with some seeds in it. Yeah, so they're going to stack there up to 1024, and then they're going to stack up in the other one, which is fine. But we got plenty of it. Seeds definitely going to be necessary for Botania stuff, for the Petal Apothecary, and also for Mystical Agriculture when we get into that more, which is not going to be just yet. However, I am going to go ahead and make the 7 other nature seeds that I made the ingredients for it, just to speed up that production a little bit. Even if we're not going to use the nature essence insanely, you know, you might as well. We made the stuff, we might as well use it. So let's get a move on with Botania. So if you look at the quest book, the Mana Steel Sword says it's the most important tool for progression at this point, which is surprising to me because I don't know what it's really for. There are other Mana Steel tools, but it specifically says you don't really need them right now. The Mana Steel Sword apparently the most important. It is made with a sentient sword, so I went ahead and made another one because I'm still currently using this enchanted one a lot of the time. And, you know, even if that's going to be retired soon once we auto-generate will, I think it was still worth it for the use that I got out of it. And I don't really want to get rid of it anyway. So we got the Mana Steel Sword. We got some Dreadium back for that. And then you can make a bound blade. Okay. So this is a blood magic thing. And what is it going to be used for? I guess to make whatever this is, and then we're going to move on with some stuff in blood magic, which is cool. Yeah, Botania is a lot more intertwined with the blood magic and evilcraft stuff than I thought it would be, but that's okay. You know, it's totally fine. Binding reagent, I see. That is totally fine to make. We have at least some of the stuff to make that right now. Well, we have all this stuff, but we have enough to make one. And that's going to be all we need at the current exact moment. But yeah, still need to figure out when you auto-craft more than one thing at a time in the runic altar. But for now, I can work around it. So binding reagent, the Hellfire Forge. And we want to craft one of those. Grab the alchemy array out while we wait for that. And that's going to be our Mana Steel Sword thrown in there with the binding reagent to make the bound blade. Okay, there it is. I can throw that down on the ground. Mana Steel Sword, binding reagent, cool animation, and then we get a bound blade. To activate it, press shift right click, but while it's active, it will drain LP from your soul network. Okay, So, shift right click. Okay, it's a blade. Is it draining LP? I mean, it said it would. It is pretty slowly. I'm not too concerned. But what is that actually doing? Let's have a look at the quest book. So now, slay enough mobs and obtain enough weak blood shards to be able to craft 5 large bloodstone tiles. You can duplicate them with a tier 4 slate once you build up the altar. So this is going to give us tier 4. So weak blood shard, this is where... Okay, that's how the duplication comes in. This is how we're going to get these. So let's just head down here to the spawner, if I could get down there. It's like the most trouble I've ever had doing that. Make sure to turn off the mob crusher. And kill some of these guys. So I guess there's no durability on this, which is really good to see. I haven't gotten any blood shards yet. I'm wondering... Oh, there's one. I was going to say I'm a little bit concerned that it's only vanilla mobs or something like that. But it's looking fine. So I have 1 so far. I have, 2 so far. So I'll just keep doing this for, I guess, as long as the LP lets me. If I still don't have enough by then, I'll recharge the LP and do it again. But I guess for now, I'm just going to be grinding these out for a while. How many do I actually need? So I need 5 of these. 20 total, assuming that none of this other stuff needs it. That's a power core. Hybrid abyssalium. Okay, that's fine. That's fine, kind of annoying, but fine. But yeah, I guess I'll just be doing this for the next little bit. Okay, so in order to remedy the problems I had, I made a second powered spawner because I want to keep the Cyclops ones around because I think I am going to end up needing a lot of Cyclops eyes. It is a reagent ingredient, or an essence, one of the two. And I think that's one of the things I'm going to need a lot of going forward. So I went and grabbed an Abyssal Knight Golem from the second Abyssal Craft Dimension, and they dropped the Abyssal Knight shards, which we're going to use for 2 of the 3 ingredients in the hybrid Abyssal Knight. Right, so now that I've taught it to make that, you should be good to go there, and we'll get 20 of those. So that's not as bad as it quite looked from first brush. Now, the other thing, power cores. I currently have 3. I don't know why I made 3, because I need 5. I totally just thought I would need 3, but I actually need 5. And what am I missing here? Probably like aerogel or something really annoying. Glowstone. That's possibly even more annoying to be missing, because I guess the only way... Is there not a better way to get glowstone at this point? Can't really do that. Laser, probably only nether, yeah. Transmutation ritual from roots, that's not happening. Although I guess it technically is I could automate it that way. It just would be insanely annoying. And then energize the Clathrate. There's probably not a way. Glowstone essence, that's tier 3. That's a ways away. So no, I don't think there is going to be a better way to get glowstone other than just going to get some from the nether. That's just chiseled, yeah. Once I get the alchemy catalyst, I guess I could do redstone and mana, but Rune of Envy is a couple of runes down the line. I can't make that right now. So I guess that I'm going to have to go grab some more. I mean, I could energize glowstone. No, it doesn't quite work that way. Firefly? I could set up a firefly mob farm. Or a witch mob farm even. But no, I think it's going to be better off. I think I'm going to be better off, I should say, to just go grab a bunch from the nether. I don't have any in here. No. Yeah, and then we'll put that back in there. Maybe, I mean, maybe the best thing, honestly, is going to be to builder it from the nether. But I think for now, I will just fill up the dank null and grab some myself. So I'll do that and then be back at the barnyard. So this is kind of cool. If anybody remembers, like, 90 odd episodes ago when I built this cobblestone bridge across the lava and I kept dying, like, I think right here to get my stuff. Oh no, it must have been here because that's why the gravel is here. And then the pump has got this, like, kind of most of it leveled off. So, well, not, I guess the opposite of leveled off, but it took a chunk out of it. Now you can kind of see down to what used to be here. It's pretty cool. And I was able to get about 1,000 glowstone before I realized I don't have my liquid bucket. liquid meat bucket on me anymore, and then I started starving, and then I couldn't really teleport home because I would take hunger damage before the teleport would happen, and then it would cancel it. But with the help of a zombie brain that I happen to have on me, I managed to get home safe. So as soon as those power cores get finished up, I can take these, and I can take those, and I can take the abyssal hybrid abyssalium. Sure. I can take all that, and I can make this brand new cool thing. That's going to help us get to tier 4. Another thing that I can just do in the meantime while I'm waiting, I realized there's a quest to get 10 orange heart canisters, and we never actually completed it. So just pull that out now and grab. Make sure to put them back in and put this back on. There we go. So cool. It's going to be from chapter 12. We get a bunch of stuff there. I don't know which one of those is going to be more useful. I should know by now, right? But, you know, they'll both be useful. Maybe in the future if I am in a serious pinch, I'll grab one of those. But yeah, just waiting on the craft for the other power stuff now. I would like to speed up the Hellfire Forge and the alchemy table somehow. And I think maybe the way to do it is going to be with just parallelizing it, just having multiple alchemy tables. And I think that's what people generally do, because I know I've seen a bunch of people craft like dozens of alchemy tables, or at least like a dozen. Don't think we're quite at that point because I can just wait for this to finish, and it's not really going to take too long. I'm just impatient, but in the future I think it's going to definitely become more of a necessity. But for now I can just wait for this. Another thing I could do, I taught the system how to craft these amplification crystals from Quantum Flux pretty recently, because they are a crafting ingredient in strength reagent. So these will definitely get used, but there is a quest for them, and well, I guess I don't really know what they're for. Can they? Well, they wouldn't be a bauble because they would say if they were a bauble, right? The quest says, it was a ways back, I think. The quest says with a spider's vision. It's used to amplify stuff. I mean, I guess it's just a crafting ingredient. I don't know why I thought it would be something crazier than that, but the magnet is another thing that I have never really considered having. Like, that's just something, like, does it just suck up items from the ground nearby you? I feel like I don't want that. That sucks. Like, there are certain situations where it would be good, certainly, but I just think in most cases you probably don't want that, or at least I know I don't. So I think I will just leave the whole magnet thing alone unless somebody like really convinces me otherwise. I don't know, because I am worried that I'm missing out on massive QOL, but I mean, like, I'm getting along just fine without a magnet, I think. Maybe a late game magnet is so insanely incredible that it's going to be worth it, but for now, I think we're good on the magnet front. All right, the power cores are all done now. So there are our 5 large bloodstone tiles. Pretty cool stuff. And so I guess we're going to be getting a lot more into the blood now. So we can make the tier 4 blood altar. It says use your tier 4 blood altar. We don't have it yet. So I guess that's something that we're going to do. Yeah, automate, elaborate timing system, multiple altars with specific filters. 2 altars with alternating slates. That sounds like a good middle ground, I think. Yeah, 2 altars is a good way to go, I think. Yeah, okay. But first, we actually need to figure out the tier 4 blood altar, right? So this is tier 3 currently. So let's have a look at what tier 4 is going to look like. So to upgrade the blood altar to tier 4, we need 28 additional blank runes, right? So we have that here. And some of these are definitely going to get upgraded. We currently have 8 self-sacrifice runes, which tier 4, I believe, is when you can start with the Well of Suffering, which is when we're going to automate the blood. So that is definitely not something that we're going to need going forward. I may just keep these. I could just make 8 new blank runes and turn them into something more useful. But I think I'll just switch them out later. What I am going to do is just have a look at the quests in chapter 15. So it's a quest for rune self-sacrifice. We need 2 speed runes for the quest. We need 2 sacrifice runes and 2 capacity runes. I think the capacity and the speed runes are going to be the most useful. That is what I humbly think. So I'm going to teach the system how to auto-craft at least those. At least those. These are alloy smelter recipes, so it may be time to actually make a new alloy smelter very, very, very soon, which is a little bit insane. So let's see, speed rune, sacrifice rune, I'll go ahead and teach it to autocraft just because we need a couple of those. And that might end up being a useful one too. I think like for passive automation, I don't quite need the, you know, extra stuff. Capacity is more my speed for that, I think. And then speaking of which, there is capacity. So these are all not too bad to make, really. You kind of just need the slate, the rune, and an extra item that is usually not too hard to come by. So I'll just go ahead and have it make 2 each of these. And you don't have any imbued slates at all. And you don't know how to make, wait, you don't know how to make pressurized fluid tank? No, you know how to make pressurized fluid tank. Configured. Maybe that's why. Did I mess up the... I must have messed up the pattern here. Pressurized fluid tank configured. This is an awful NBT issue, I think. Yeah, that kind of sucks. I don't know if there's going to be an actual way to automate that. Oh well, not a huge issue, I guess. But if we look at the slates we do have enough reinforced slates to get those ones, but the higher tier ones are going to have to wait until we get the blood altar get set back up, which is totally fine. Okay, I think the fluid tank issue is fixed in an update to the mod pack, so I may have to do that before next time, or maybe I still just have it configured wrong, but I think it's an update because what I'm seeing, there's a GitHub issue for this issue. It's closed now as fixed, and I'm not seeing the behavior that they are seeing. So I'm thinking based on that it is just something that I don't have pulled in yet. I haven't updated in a while, so it's a very plausible issue. But once, you know what, I'm going to just get the tier 3 altar set back up quickly and make a few imbued runes. Just to make these runes first. All right, we got the speed runes out. And just enough imbued slates to make 1 each of the capacity and sacrifice runes. Or, you know, wait, why does that need a blank slate? What needs a... Oh, it doesn't have the runes in the system. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yep. Okay, there you go. And then rune of capacity, so you still can't make the pressurized fluid tank, which is fine. If I do go ahead and make one, is that going to see... I bet it won't. It won't. There's no way it will because it doesn't work like that, right? Because it's just going to see... Yeah, it needs to be the unconfigured one. Well, you know what? I'm going to fix that for now by just taking the rune of capacity, taking that over here to the pattern terminal, throw it back in, pressurized tank, take the one that I actually made. Now that's the one you want, which presumably is going to work in the crafting because the configured thing, like it's still the same item. I guess it just doesn't look the same to the ME system somehow. I won't pretend to understand how that all works, but yeah, there we go. So that should be working fine now. I wonder how long these actually take. Well, either not long or it hasn't started yet. Not long. Okay, cool. So 1 each more of those, and then we should be good to go. It's really annoying to make these the imbued slates right now because even starting from the blank slate, they take a full blood altar to do just 1. That's part of why the capacity rune is so good, because you do want this to hold as much as possible so you can do more crafts, right? So definitely something that's going to be high priority. But I think once we get the tier 4 altar set up, and especially with the automation, we can just kind of switch them out as, you know, you don't need to make them all before you upgrade the altar. You can just kind of slowly rotate them out, and that will be totally fine. And I think I'll just keep the self-sacrifice runes in there for now. Once I'm past the point where I'm self-sacrificing at all, maybe I'll replace them all with capacity. Maybe these ones will be speed and all the others will be capacity. You know, maybe I'll just try and estimate some kind of optimal solution there. Not quite sure yet. Haven't thought about it. Well, I've thought about it a little bit, but I haven't figured it out. Ooh, that's a close one. Okay. I was watching that time. I was watching. I don't think I'm going to accidentally kill myself with the sack dagger again, although I don't want to say never and jinx it, but I don't think that'll happen again. I feel good about that not happening again. So there's the last imbued slate. And at this point, more for the sake of the quest than anything else, sacrifice rune, 1 capacity rune, and you're missing that because I didn't put it in there. 1 capacity rune, 1 sacrifice, yes. Okay. Those are pretty quick. Imbue the altar. Okay, and you do get 7 blank runes back for that, so I did kind of overcraft in both cases here, but, you know, we're going to have to upgrade the thing again, so it's not like they'll go to waste here. So that's good. So let's get this thing upgraded. And there is the tier 4 altar. I think that looks pretty sick. I don't know about you, but I think this looks pretty sick. The one thing that I am not concerned, more so just dreading, is that in order to make the tier 4 blood orb, you need 60,000 LP, and that means I need 25 total. No, it can't possibly mean that. Hang on, let me do the math again. No, it does. I need 20. No. Yeah, I need 25 total capacity runes because they give 2,000 each. 2,000 times 25 is 50,000, and it holds 10,000 by default. So I need 23 more of those, which is a completely crazy amount. At the very least, it works out so I can make this whole outer ring capacity runes, and that'll be exactly what I need. Now, also, it doesn't need to hold that much at once, but I mean, you know, like in a way it might as well, but then also like until I get automation, I'm not going to be doing that much with it anyway. But speaking of automation though, I think that's something that we can go for now if we have a look in the book here. So if we look up Well of Suffering, so it mentions the ritual, but then like how do I perform it is the thing. So I don't quite know how the rituals work here. The basics of rituals. Runic dust. Runic dust, maybe. Is that something I can do at all? Runic dust, yeah. That's been a thing for a while. Okay. Let me just have a look at this Well of Suffering blood automation stuff and see if that's feasible to do right now. Okay, so the bad news is I do need to make a lot more imbued slates in order to get this to work, but the good news is that it's not too tricky to make. I need 1 master ritual stone, which is not hard at all. These ritual stones themselves... Oh no, I spoke too soon, didn't I? I do need the tier 4 blood orb before I can do this, which means I need the capacity runes, which means I need to make a lot of imbued slates completely but manually. Man, they don't make this easy, do they? All right, well, I'll tell you what then. We're coming up on a half hour here anyway. I'm going to end this one off here. I'm going to spend a lot of time off camera making imbued slates here. And then next time we're going to jump in and see if we can automate blood generation here. I'm also going to think about, like, I guess I can expand this out to the next couple of tiers, right? Like, it's not really in the way of anything. Even if it does cross over the path, it's like, who cares? But yeah, so I'll do that. There's a lot of busy work that needs to be done. I will do that, get on the imbued slate game so we can up the capacity of this thing to 60,000, or at least somewhere around there, so that we can make the tier 4 blood orb, and then we can go for the ritual and automate the blood. But for now, if you made it this far, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.